UFC 314 full fight recap. Let's get right down into it. First off, I know we are a little late on this broadcast. We had some detrimental audio issues. Not 100% sure it's solved yet, but we're gripping it. We're ripping it right down the pipe for you. So bear with us here. First off, Dana White, Sean Shelby, Mr. Hunter Campbell, thank you for deciding to finally stack a card for us. How often on paper, do you see a card looks like this? You get yourself excited. You wrangle up the troops. You invite them over. They don't show up, but you extended the invite anyways. Okay, you put out the spread. You order the pay-per-view. You sit down, and nobody shows up to fight. UFC 305, you remember? I remember. Not the case here. Let's get right into it. First off, Jim the Serial Killer Miller versus Chase Bradley Hooper. My first takeaway here, pretty uneducated Miami crowd. I mean, this is the sport you watch. This is the ticket you bought. You can't handle a submission grappling match? Go do a few key bumps in the bathroom. Okay? Get yourself a refreshment. You don't start booing, nudge the guy next. Yeah, doesn't this suck? Try to get everyone along, start booing the athletes. It ain't a good look. Sure, wasn't the most barn burning, exciting fight, but it's your job as a fan to find these intricacies. I can say the word, just give me a damn minute. Okay? It's your job as a fan to find these intricacies or these nuances in these fights that, keep you engaged. For me, I look at this as a, drunk stepfather at a backyard barbecue, mouthing off to the mother. The disgruntled teen finally decides to stand up to his stepfather. They start having a trailer park brawl. All joking aside, I've been critical of Chase Hooper in the past. I didn't see that wiry frame. I thought he was fragile. Okay, I know he trains out of a small gym. I didn't think he'd have the diversity of training partners, to make an impact in the sport or to go far in the sport. I was wrong. I think he got pieced up by Steve Peterson. It's really the only. I think he has another loss in the UFC, but he doesn't lose much. And shout out to him. He had a certain snap to his punches. We even got a crotch ripper in this. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought if it was, I'd certainly have to pay for it. But no, you got it for free here. Okay, this card delivered everything to you. Moving on. Dan, I ain't gay, E-gay versus Sean Puffy Woodson. Former pro boxer Sean Puffy Woodson brings his gangly, awkward frame into the octagon for a bout with Dan Ige. Now, some are saying this was the worst stoppage in UFC history. It certainly wasn't. It was an early stoppage. But let's recap here. Dan, in the second round, stings Woodson. He stumbles back, stings him again with a combination, puts him against the fence, eats a few more. Woodson, in desperation, goes down for a single leg, we're assuming. He just hangs out by the shin or the knee, eats about 8 more, hammer fist to the side of the head. The angle in which the referee was at, he couldn't really see the eyes of the fighter. Sure, he could have readjusted. But it's not the worst ever. You got to think he's got a counter in his head, a ticker where he's counting these shots off. When he gets to 18, 19, 20 unanswered shots, it's at his discretion to come in and protect the fighter. That's exactly what he did. It was an early stoppage, but listen, Woodson will be back. Ige is a complete fighter in every aspect of the word. He's a problem on the feet. He's a problem in a grappling situation. He's a problem coming off the couch on a day's notice. I'm impressed by Ige. That mustache may be something we got to, omit for the next match. Not the best look for you, Dan, but we love you regardless. Can't wait to see what's next. Moving on. I need Zoloff versus Dominatrix Reyes. Is Dom Reyes not the most disrespected fighter in UFC history? I mean, imagine just being Dana White sitting there with your green smoothie and you're looking at your sheet to hand out your performance bonuses. You know, you see the only knockout of the night, Dom Reyes. You think to yourself, "Oh, didn't we burn that? Yeah, yeah. Didn't we burn that guy at the stake in front of everybody? Oh yeah, he fought John Pico Graham Jones, beat him. But I slid the commission a few bones. I say, hey, we need this one to go to John. You know, what do you do from there? What do you do from there? You burn him on the title. You know, you gotta forget. Dom Reyes came in on like a 12 fight win streak. He was in Toyo tire commercials. You know, I believe he convincingly beat John Jones in that fight. Sure, go back and rewatch it if you disagree. But what do you do next? You give him Jan Blachowicz. You give him Yuri Prohaska. Okay, he should have. Those are brutal fights. He should have won that Ryan Spann fight. Regardless, he doesn't. He goes on a 3 fight skid. You know, and then he's Mr. Irrelevant. Fights his way back. I mean, uses Krylov's aggression against him. Lands that McGregor Aldo style left hook. Um, right on the button. Puts him out. I think he only threw 9 punches in the fight. Um, yeah, shout out Dom Reyes. I think you deserve better, brother. I hope Dana did the right thing, sent him a gift basket, you know, something of that nature. But yeah, I mean, what's next for Reyes? 205. I'd like to see him fight Johnny Walker. Have they fought? I don't believe that they have. Johnny Walker might have a fight already scheduled. I don't know. We got to look that up. But good to see Dom Reyes back in the winning column. Moving on. Okay, this one's tough. We got Bryce. I'm calling ice. Mitchell versus Gene the Dope Fiend Silva. Listen, Bryce came out sharp in that first round, and you know it. He was popping out that sidekick. Okay, he was effective on his feet. If he would go in for a takedown, he'd have a combination in front of it. Wasn't telegraphing that takedown as he usually does. I mean, I don't know if Gene was just toying with Bryce because he wanted to get into the second round for whatever reason, but the second round was a complete different story. I mean, Gene pieces him up early on. Bryce telegraphs a single leg, dives in, Gene sprawls out, catches Bryce's neck in a vicious ninja choke. One of the worst I've seen. It looked like Gene was trying to wrench Bryce's head right off his shoulders. Thank God Bryce, got that tap in at the last second, but he ends up going out. Now, you have to think of the visual for the rest of the fighters in this division. Okay, you got Bryce, having a damn seizure, you know, half dead on the canvas, staring up at the lights. You got Gene hanging on the cage, foaming from the mouth, barking like a dog. I mean, who's lining up to fight this guy? Now, also, Bryce says that he wanted this fight. He asked for this fight. The balls on this kid. He must have to carry him around in a wheelbarrow. Unbelievable. Man, I wanted Bryce to at least have a better performance. I think this might knock him out of the rankings, unfortunately. But Gene Silva will be a ranked fighter after this, and who do you put him in there against? Certainly not Yair Rodriguez. That's too much of a jump. Yair won't take that fight anyways. Um, I would have loved to see him against Giga the Cheese Grater, but he's already got a fight scheduled. How about Lerone Murphy? That sounds like the logical next step for me. But yeah, the future is bright for Gene Silva. Even invited, Dana White to his wedding. All he had to do was pay for the wedding singer. Um, Pretty interesting flex, but yeah, I mean, what else could you say about that gym? They are on a tear like I've never seen. Can't wait to see what's next. Moving on. On a side note here, Bryce ain't done, and I'm sick of people saying it. Okay, he's had some wars. That Emmett knockout was brutal. That choke was brutal, but I think he has the mental toughness to bounce back from this loss, get himself back in the rankings. I would really like to see him have a little bit more diversity in his training. It's a small gym. It's like a homemade house gym that he's got there. Um, but man, for what he has, he certainly produces. But yeah, I'm glad he posted that video letting us know He's all right. That was a tough visual to swallow, but Bryce, we pray for you. We know you will be back, and we love you, brother. Moving on. Yair the Queer Rodriguez versus Patricio Shitbull. Uh, Listen, I know Pitbull has held some titles over there in Bellator. This seemed like a Bellator baptism by fire. I don't know if Pitbull had a chance to watch any footage on Yair Rodriguez, um, but it is pretty well known. Yair is probably the most dangerous kicker in the promotion. To sit there directly in kicking range the whole fight, even takes one right off the lips, takes one in the chops, refuses to alter that game plan at all. I mean, Yair's throwing all that power from the right side of his body. I mean, his coaches have to be telling him to circle to the left, circle away from the power, try to catch one of those kicks, try to make it into a ground and pound situation. That was his only keys to victory here. But he seemed to freeze. He just seemed to stand right there in kicking range. I couldn't believe it. I mean, he did. Let's try to not be too negative here and find some positive notes here for Pitbull. He landed a few nice combinations. He did slap up one of the most lightning fast arm bars I've ever seen, but just as quick as it was in, it was out. I don't know if that was sweat or what it was, but I mean, yeah, Yair looked sharp. He looked refocused. He looked championship bound. But with this guy, you never really know who's going to show up. He's a little fragile sometimes, but if Yair can stay on this pace and fight like he did on Saturday night, I mean, I think a championship shot is certainly in his future. For him to do an interview with Hawani and say, I think he might have did several interviews. He said he would only fight for the title. You're coming off two losses. You finally put together a win. Sure it was convincing, but it's with an unranked, 37-year-old opponent, and you start calling out for the title. I mean, these things are bad for the sport. If fighters think that they can dictate the terms, then it starts turning into boxing. You never get the fights that you want because this guy's holding out or this and that. It ain't a good look. Look what John Jones is doing to the sport. I don't want to get in on a tangent here, but that son of a bitch is bad for the sport. I can't stand him. Boy, I'd love to see Tom Aspinall fight again. Wouldn't you? I think everybody does. And for him to hold up that dude's career is evil. I mean, what kind of narcissist? I don't know. I don't want to get into it. What's next for Pitbull? What do you do with him? You got to put him against Chandler. Let's get into that fight. Krabby Patty Pimblett versus Mike the Bull Dyke Chandler. Listen, Chandler ain't got nothing left at 155. I love the guy. He's got too much muscle on that frame for 155. Doesn't have the height. Sure, he's explosive, but you see the fatigue set in after a few flurries. Um, you got to go down to 145 and fight Pitbull. He said many times he has no interest in doing so, but that's the fight to make. What do you do at 155? He's going to slip out of the rankings or be at the bottom of them here. Go down to 145. Plant your flag down there. Try to make some memories for the fans. You know, go out on top. But Patty Pimblett, I mean, he looked absolutely incredible. He looked like a monstrosity for 155. It also looked to me like he has listened to the criticism, he has downloaded that information, and he has adapted. I mean, he did it with punches, with kicks, with knees, with elbows. Picked Chandler up at one point, slammed him right down on his ass. I mean, sometimes I don't see the ferocity in Patty, that willingness to finish. You know, sometimes it looks like he's too concerned with getting gassed out. You know, I didn't see. I saw Patty winning this fight, but I thought it would have been by submission. In the third round. But I mean, Patty is going to be a superstar. He's a better dude all around than Conor McGregor. Okay, he's not in bars punching old people, slamming his fans, you know, phones on the ground at the Fountain Blue, you know, doing cocaine out there in the wild, riding on yachts. I mean, I see a tremendous upside for Patty. What do you do with him next, though? He calls out Oliveira. They ain't going to make that fight. I really don't believe that. I believe the only logical move here, or if his management is smart, you put him against Gaethje. It's a banger. It's a big name. It perhaps gets you to a title fight. Um, you got Armin Sarukian in there. Who wouldn't want to see Sarukian and Oliveira too? I mean, sucks for Sarukian, but boy, you got to learn your lesson, brother. You have to make an example of that fighter. If you're Dana White, for you to blow your back out, you know, doing calisthenics with Nina Drama, trying to impress people, you pull out the day before the fight. I mean, you got to make an example of him here. That's a tough situation. Um, yeah, but boy, Patty Pimblett looked absolutely incredible. Perhaps it was those, babies he just had. That can really have an effect on a fighter's trajectory. On, you know, they're no longer fighting for themselves. They have something to fight for. He sees the light at the end of the tunnel now. I think he really sees the fact that he can break through and be a complete and utter superstar in the sport. He has the personality. Now he has the diversity in his striking. Um, yeah, I mean, shout out Patty Pimblett. Gets it done in convincing fashion against Mike Chandler. Mike, go down to 145 for the love of God. Moving on. Main event. Diego Go Go Gadget Lopez versus Alexander the Gape Volkahovski. Volka, how the hell did he beat this guy? Volka, how did he put the fucking faster pace on the younger man? Put a pace on the bigger man for 5 rounds and take him into deep waters and fucking drowned Diego Lopez. That's what we saw. We saw vicious combinations. Diego didn't know where to block, what to do. He certainly didn't look lost in this fight, but he looked a little one dimensional. He looked like Lopez was only focusing on punching. Listen, a turning point in this fight for me, for what I saw, is Lopez throws this uppercut slash hook from the hip. He has a tremendous amount of torque on this fight. On this punch. He's put many fighters out with it before. He hit Volk with this, I believe, in the second round, right on the chin. Put him down, but couldn't put him out. That was the hardest he could have thrown that punch. Couldn't have hit him in a better spot. Volk gets right back up, starts marching towards him, circling around him. I believe that was the point in which Diego was like, geez, I don't know what else I can do here to beat this guy. Volk, for a 36-year-old man, off 2 brutal losses, to come back the way he did, that is a GOAT style performance, folks. When John Jones finally decides to fight, every 6 years, whatever it is, you don't see performances like that. And he's just a great ambassador for the sport. You know, he's somebody that your fans, the younger people that are getting into the sport, can look up to. You know, he's telling everybody that, hey, you want it bad enough, you can go out there and get it. You put the work in, you train hard. I mean, I'm still in complete awe of the way that he was throwing those combinations together while getting pieced up. He just, I couldn't believe Diego wasn't able to like push him back with a stiff jab or, um, man, I thought the power difference was going to be significant. Diego's huge for that weight class. I mean, shout out to Diego Lopez. He did his damn thing. He made a name for himself. He'll certainly be back, but wow, what a card. What a performance by Volk. Um, who do we got next here? Oh, yeah, Ian the Fairy Gary versus two Puffs Pratas. Should be a banger. Um, I mean, we'll do a whole breakdown on that card, but I mean, who do they have in common? Not Jeff Neal, uh, Neil Magny. I think they both fought Neil Magny. I think Pradas put him out in the first round, and I think Ian Gary took him to a decision. But who knows how Pratas is going to fight in those later rounds? That's an interesting bout. But yeah, again, put a full video together on that coming soon. Thank you so much for watching. I mean, I'd ask you to like and subscribe, but you won't do it. I mean, sound off in the comments. Let me know how annoying my voice is, how fat my face is. Feel free. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.